Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, a massive Steelers fan out there in America, I don't know, all over the world, England, New Zealand, Australia, all around the world is Steelers Nation everywhere, right? As you know on YouTube, most YouTube channels are run by certain media or wannabe media, places out there. Some are really good. You guys can decipher who's who in the zoo in that aspect. What I find is, though, is in the off season, it is just the Steelers should trade for this guy. Steelers need to go and find that guy. There's rumored to be Micah Parsons, who wants to be a Steeler. Should the Steelers bring him in? I saw CD Lamb, another Cowboy. It's absolute lunacy over and over and over. Now, I had a few comments on and recent views about one of my Micah Parsons interviews. Micah Parsons video that he was talking about TJ Watt, how he's not a top 5. In the recent Steeler news, I think the last few days, Micah Parsons said he wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler if he can't get a contract. I say right now, there's no way. And I've said no way a few times, and it has happened in terms of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and that's just how it plays out. But I'll put it this way. I highly doubt that. But Parsons would come to the Steelers because in that fact, he was not bagging out TJ Watt, but he was not giving him the credit that he deserves. Steeler Nation wouldn't take too lightly for Micah Parsons coming to the Steelers. But my point is, in the offseason, there's so much drama, and it seems to be every year it's getting more and more and more and more. So I'm going to stop the drama right now, and I want to talk about one thing, and that is Jaylen Warren. We need to get back to talking about football, talking about actual Steelers football and actual Steelers players on the actual team. That is our team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? I saw this one on Twitter via Aaron Becker. Maybe he might be a Steelers reporter out there or one of the NFL media guys out there, right? That's where I get all my news from, is Twitter. And this was from the interview too. I saw this was uploaded on Twitter. Warren was asked about his contract next year. And Jaylen Warren gave a really good answer. He's not worried about the contract. He said, no, in terms of the contract extension, I'm not worried about, his final year of his deal. He said, no. And to be honest, I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about winning a Super Bowl, right? Now, the OTAs are all over. So Steelers OTAs are done. I believe we have dates now for, I think, July 25th for the training camp. I think there's still a mandatory minicamp coming up in the next few days. It's like we have one more thing with the mandatory minicamp, and then we are just no news for about a month. So in this time, it goes into a bit of like silly season mode where the guys out there who do report the clickbait all the time, and you know who they are, you dead set know who you are, they go into overdrive mode, into trying to create stories and create drama that doesn't need to exist. Like I said before in the start of the video, I saw CD Lamb getting rumored to be traded to the Steelers. Now, I'm still pretty happy, and I know some people aren't, but for me in this team, and called Darrell Patterson, he had a pretty good interview too. His role and his team to be a specialist, and maybe you can use him as a receiver in certain parts. I'm still pretty good with this team, that they have 2 great running backs. They have offensive line that's been built up through the draft in the last few years. Marlowe is a golden player. There are guys like that. And the receiver Pickens and some of the guys like Austin and Van Jefferson has been highlighted recently in Steelers clips. I'm okay if that's going to be our receiver for this year. But at the same time, if they go and add someone, I'm okay too. It's fine. We've got to start to get behind the team that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the guys that we have. And maybe during this time in the 30 days or 35 days in the camp lead up, I'll try and talk about these players as best I can from my situation here in Australia. But when I saw this, I was like, man, let's effing go. Jaylen Warren is one of my favorite players, and he is an undrafted guy from 2 years ago. I think everyone in the time when he was getting into the team, a lot of reporting around Mateo Durant at the time. I think he was from Kentucky or something similar to that. And we're also focused on him. And I was like, oh, he could be a Steelers number 2, yada, yada, yada. And then Jaylen Warren stepped up, and we soon found how awesome he can be running the football. I think he ran a 70-yard play down against the Browns. He ran over and blocked a Bengal, like took him right out, So Jaylen Warren is up there. He could quite possibly be on the Steelers right now, on the current roster, one of my favorite players. And for him to mention that he's not worried about contracts, coming back to football, as a fan sense, like, yes, all the players need to go and get contracts. That's 1,000%. It's a business. But as a football sense, it is great to see players, you know what? The contract is a contract. My agent can sort that out. That's okay. They'll sort it out. I'm here to win a Super Bowl. And I do know a lot of fans out there, we want that next step, was like, it's kind of like getting the playoff run, getting a playoff win, going on a 1-2 chances and see what happens. But Jaylen Warren says, no, I'm going to win a Super Bowl. I want to get it done. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about that. I'm ready to win a Super Bowl. And that's what we should all be fired up about. Now, I did see some other YouTubers out there that would, I'm not going to say who they are, but they were comparing Steelers win factor was like 5-13 or 5-12. I was like, there's no way. Mike Tomlin is going to have this team competitive this year. Yes, we have one of the hardest schedules, but we won last year, 5-1 in the division. I think the Ravens, they at the moment, they're a talented team, but it seems like they're no match for the Steelers. Every time we play them, we seem to have their number in the last 8 years. The Browns are going backwards with their quarterback situation. The Browns are the Browns, like Juju said. And Jaylen Warren and Najee are this year, they're about to run for 1,000 yards each. I said it last year, but this year with the Smith offense and the new, overall confidence his team has in building the culture, they're ready for something to do something fun and great. So when I saw this Steeler Nation, I was pumped up. Woof! I don't know if you guys are pumped up too, but I was pumped up. And I want to get back to that thing. There's a lot of media and YouTube stuff, and I'm on YouTube. You're on YouTube, and I appreciate you as a viewer and a part of HD. If anyone's a part of HDU, that is fantastic. I appreciate all the success I've had here so far, and the journey is just beginning. It hasn't even arrived at the top tier of the mountain yet. I love YouTube. I love what I do on here in my spare chance when I'm not working. I'm not a journalist. I'm not one of those dudes that makes up clickbait articles. I'm really just here to get you pumped up for the season coming up. That is in a month's time. And when it does come around in around, I think it's around 90-something days, and we have training camp, we're going to start to watch these fellas go hard in the paint in a basketball reference, or go hard in the black and gold paint and run some people over and get that victory versus the Falcons in week 1. Or go and get that victory versus the Steelers versus Broncos in the redemption game for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just posted the thing on Twitter saying, 35, feeling 25. They're feeling fresh. It's now a time to get excited about our team, because blokes like this and Jaylen Warren want to be excited about our team, and he's looking for a Super Bowl. 1 out of 32 teams has to win it. Every team's got a chance, even the stinking Bungles, even the Browns, who haven't won anything in a very long time, and even the Ratbirds have a chance. So why not us? Why can't we have a chance as well being the black and gold Steelers? See what happens. We've fixed the middle linebackers. The cornerback room looks better than ever, even with the addition with Cameron Sutton, and the suspension could be looming in the NFL. That may happen. And you can think right or left on that argument. I'm not going to, I've talked about that before. I'm kind of done with that part. So that's up to you in your perception. But for me, Cameron Sutton has a football sense, makes a lot of football move, makes a lot of sense. And then JPJ, I'm really excited to see what he can do into his next year. I just want to see him pick off passes. I want to see Minka, become that overall leader again and pick off passes and become that physical defense that hopefully we can see in 2024. And just quotes like that from Jaylen Warren, I want a Super Bowl right now, and I'm not worried about my contract, is something really exciting for this team. It is. It's coming back. Football's coming back shortly. We just have to get through this lull period, this dull period, that there's nothing here. Also, enjoy your summer. I'll be enjoying myself working and saving up money. I'm coming over to Pittsburgh in Christmas, so I've got some things I have to get done. I want to try and grow this channel as best I can, and I want to, save coin up and see what happens, and enjoy my time. I don't want to rush every day, but enjoy your summer. This next period of like over dramatization of this guy, that guy traded, blah blah blah. Who's going to be cut where? Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen, and we're here to have our opinion about our Steelers. But for one thing, for me, is I'm really keen to see what Jaylen Warren can do and what Najee can do and in our attempts for the Steelers to go and win a Super Bowl. Why not us? Jaylen Warren doesn't care. He doesn't care. I'm not worried about the contract. I'm worried about winning a Super Bowl. I'll see you later.